Hello, and welcome to the 174th edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert, and I'm coming to you live here from Casa de Bruckert, where we're going to be having another very, very good beer, right on the borderline of outstanding. And today we're going to be having this beer with my good friend Paul, who picked out this beer, the Founders Unraveled IPA. So that's what we're going to be having today. Because he got it, because he thought that this would be a great beer. It's from his home city, or not from his home city, but it's his home state of Michigan. So I'm going to pour this here. It's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So what is it that made you decide you wanted us to do the beer issues on this particular beer?
It's a good IPA. It's not hazy. It's good.
Just a good, solid, citrusy IPA. Nice. And you can see you don't have that haze that we've been drinking a lot of, and it seems like it was very, very popular. But let's get a little bit more beer, and then we're going to talk about the smells. Now, this beer rates 89 out of 100, so it is a very good beer. It's the high end of a very good beer, almost in the outstanding category. It clocks in at 6.6% alcohol by volume. So it is something you could drink by the pool. But I think we've discussed drinking IPAs in hot weather can sometimes not be the best. But this is the IPA level, that 6.6 is pretty much spot on with what an IPA is. So let's talk about this. Now, one thing I know is they do, we did pour these beautiful Beer Issues glass, by the way. But anyway, they do use 4 different kinds of hops in here. They use the Amarillo hops, the Azacca hops, if I said that right, Mosaic hops, and Simcoe hops. And then there's another thing I'm going to talk about in a minute. It's called, and I wasn't even familiar with this, lupulin powder, which is an extract of the hop flower that they use in the beer. Apparently, by using this powder, it makes it a little bit cleaner beer, if you will, a little bit less stuff gets into the beer. But anyway, let's talk about the smell. So what are you getting out of that? What do you smell in there?
Definitely citrusy.
Citrusy? I definitely get the citrusy, and from the Simcoe, I think we're getting like some tropical, beyond just a citrus. I think we're getting a little bit of a top, like almost like you smell like a mango in there?
A little bit.
And I don't know if I've ever really explained this, but when I talk about the different flavors in the beer, they don't put mangoes in this beer. They don't put citrus in this beer. All the flavors in these IPAs are derived from the hops. The hops are what creates the flavors like the mango, flavors like the citrus. That all comes from the hops. They don't put any of that fruit in the beer. So I don't know that I've ever truly explained that. But let's go ahead. It's definitely a sweetness for the tropical fruit flavors. It's just, it comes across great. So if it tastes as good as it smells, I think we're definitely in for a treat.
It's definitely one of my favorites.
Okay, let's go ahead and taste it. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent beer. You start off with the tropical kind of on the front. When you first start tasting it, you get that citrusy tropical taste in the beginning, but it does finish off a little bit on the I won't say bitter side, but it finishes kind of clean to where you get the sweetness up front, and then it just kind of tails off with a little bit of bitter on the end. Is that kind of okay? Excellent beer. Very nice. I'm glad you picked this one out. Now, we've done several different videos on Founders. You know, they make great beers. And this will go into another one of their great beers. But just to talk a little bit about Founders. Founders was originally founded in 1990. Okay. I was a little bit silly there, but it was originally opened in 1997, and it was originally called the Canal Street Brewing. Okay, and something to do with the sign. There was a thing on the front on this Canal Street, and it said Founders. So when people got the beer, they thought that was actually the name of the brewery. So it eventually became Founders, but it was originally Canal Street Brewing. Just a little known beer geek fact that nobody really cares about that I thought you guys might care about. And the other thing, this is the 15th largest brewery in the United States. It was originally founded by two guys who still have a small stake in the company. I say small stake because the original people, I think they only own like 5% each of the company. It did get purchased by a Spanish company, San Miguel Brewing. They actually own, I think, 90%, and then the two original founders own the other 10%. But they're still pumping out great beers like this one and lots of other ones. Like we've talked about before, I know we've done beer issues on the Canadian breakfast stout, the Kentucky breakfast stout. I want to do one soon on the, they make a really great porter, but they make really great, all kinds of great beers. I mean, it's, every kind of variety that they make great beers. So definitely can't go wrong. We'll be having a lot more Founders beers. We want to thank Paul for picking this one out for us. I think it was a good one to do on here. And it kind of does get us away from, we've been doing a lot of, I always talk about the fact that I tend to like those hazy IPAs. And that's all the rage now. Everybody's, it's got to be hazy, it's got to be hazy. But honestly, a beer like this, it's got the type of hops, right? It's the type of hops that would be in a hazy. It's just not hazy. No. But it does have the tropical notes, which you'll get a lot in a hazy IPA. So great beer. Make sure you check it out. We got this at ABC, so you can probably pretty much find it anywhere. I've never had it before last night, so I can't say that this is my first time tasting it because I had one last night, but I had a few other beers last night too, so I might not have remembered every taste that I had last night. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this, make sure that you tell your friends about Beer Issues and make sure they subscribe, because we want everybody to know how much fun we're having talking about beer and drinking great beer. And if you want any cool Beer Issues gear, like this cool Beer Issues shirt, go to shop.beerissues.com. You can get that. And as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.
I talked a little bit.